Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Happy New Year. 2019 was a very challenging year for me. I went through many changes, which is why I did not upload on YouTube. And I did not try much new makeup, but I did find some new favorites. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what I used and enjoyed the most. This video is not sponsored, and most of the products featured have been purchased by me. If you'd like to keep in touch, you can find me on Instagram at LilyGenuineGlow, where I post more often than on YouTube and where I often do giveaways. So make sure to follow me there. In 2019, I only tried a few new foundations, mainly for two reasons. Number one, I wore tinted sunscreen most days, and I will talk more in detail about my favorite skincare products in an upcoming video. And number two, my skin went through some changes and could not handle a lot of these face products. It was very sensitive, often irritated, and so I plan on testing more foundations this year. The foundations that I used the most last year are actually very similar to each other. They are the MASCARAS Oat Milk Foundation and the Beauty Counter Tint Skin Hydrating Foundation. Both are hydrating with a skin-like finish, and their coverage is more on the sheer side, but buildable, so they even out the skin while looking very natural and fresh. They both feel comfortable, like an extra layer of skincare, and they do not aggravate my delicate skin. So in the oatmeal foundation, I wear the shade Chai, and I wanted to show you a quick swatch of color and finish. This is a more recent discovery for me and one I've been enjoyed due to the moisturizing but still lightweight texture. Like I said, this is a light to medium coverage foundation and it looks luminous but not dewy. It's more like natural skin with a subtle luminosity. In 2019, I also continue to use the Kosas Tinted Oil, which is a favorite of mine. The formula is a mix of oil and pigments that gives my skin a smooth appearance and a luminous finish, and I love how lightweight this feels on the skin and how it evens out my complexion without feeling heavy. It has some similarities with another old favorite of mine, which is the Gressa Serum Foundation. In the Beauty Counter Tint Skin Hydrating Foundation, I wear the shade Sand. I started to use this tint skin at the very beginning of 2019, and it was a godsend when I had a terrible reaction to a skincare product that left my skin inflamed, red, hot to the touch, and flaky for weeks. It was very painful, and nearly every product made my skin sting. But the tint skin was one of the few products I could wear that did not aggravate it. I like the look of it because it does not give that cakey, heavy, makeup-y look to the skin, and it does not emphasize lines and dryness. It makes my skin look healthy and fresh, which is exactly my favorite type of finish. The only issue I have with it is the limited shade range, but due to the coverage being on the sheer side, I'm able to make it work. So if you prefer tinted moisturizer or natural looking foundations, I would definitely recommend checking this one out. Most of the time I apply it with fingers, but using a brush helps me to sheer it even more. And my favorite brush to apply this one is a synthetic one from Smashbox. I will just link it in the info box. In 2019, I also did not try many concealers, but of those I tried, my favorite one was the Ilia True Skin. It was not love at first use. I tried a few shades before finding the right match for my skin tone, which by the way is 1.5. And once I figured out my favorite application technique, then I enjoyed it. I prefer to apply with a dry beauty blender sponge because it helps to get more coverage. I just make sure to blend it well until it kind of disappears into the skin and it blends into the complexion. I've been using my beauty blender dry actually to get more coverage, and also because I am concerned about bacteria growing into the sponge when I get it wet. So if you have blemish prone skin and you use a beauty blender, I would say try to use it dry and see if it makes a difference. The coverage of the Ilia True Skin Concealer is light to medium, and the finish is natural. It's not dewy and it's not matte. It's very skin-like. I also use it around my nose to disguise redness and on my chin where I have some scars, and sometimes on my eyelids as well before eyeshadow. Kind of like a primer. Although my skin has been much more dry last year, especially since moving to Massachusetts, I still use powder when I wear makeup to set my T-zone and my under eye concealer to prevent creasing and also excess shine. My favorite powder is still, after many years, the RMS Beauty Unpowder. It sets and it mattifies without emphasizing dryness. In fact, it has more of a velvety finish, and it gives my skin a nice polished, soft look. I'm very picky about bronzers, so I don't try new ones often, but my favorite one in 2019 were actually two. The first one is an old favorite of mine, is the New Evolution Portofino bronzer. I love the golden tone of it and the slightly sheeny finish. It's not shimmery, but it provides a type of sheen that makes your skin look smooth and expansive. It complements warm tones in the skin so beautifully, and it gives that healthy glow. And it's also perfect to apply lightly all over the face for a little diffused warmth. My other favorite bronzer was the RMS Beauty Luminizing Powder in the color Madeira, and I will show you that one shortly. The one I'm applying in the video is the Portofino bronzer by New Evolution, and I'm just adding it along the perimeter of my face for a little warmth and to add a little bit of dimension to my complexion, since the foundation tends to flatten it. Next, we have my favorite eyebrow products. The first one is the Chemical Superfine Pencil, which is an automatic double-sided pencil with a fine tip on one side and a spoolie on the other one. I've gone through several of this pencil already. It is very long wearing and precise, so it's a very dependable product. And my other favorite brow pencil is a newer launch from Plume, which has a thicker tip and a slightly more creamy consistency. And due to the creaminess and the larger tip size, I find that the Plume one is great to use when I don't have much time to be extra precise, so I can achieve a natural soft brow very quickly. Both pencils work really well for me, and I just pick one over the other depending on how much time I have available and what I'm looking for. But honestly, they're both very good. I wanted to swatch them for you so you can see the comparison in the size of the strokes and color. So I wear the shade Black Tea in the Chemical Pencil, which is a very dark ashy brown, and it's the one on the right. And I wear the shade Chestnut Decadence in the Plume Pencil, which is a little bit lighter in color. And as you can see, the chemical strokes are very fine, and since the consistency is a bit more hard, you can achieve a more precise hair-like strokes. And now I'm going to use my favorite brow gel from 2019, which is the Beauty Counter Brow Gel in the clear shade. This is the absolute best brow gel I've tried because it fixes the brow hairs in place without giving them a glue-like stiff look. So my eyebrows look a bit more full, polished, but still very natural. As for eyeshadow, in 2019 my go-to was still an old favorite from Kure called Grace. It's a versatile taupe shade that can do really magic things to your eyes when applied strategically to add shadows, contour, definition. It's just the perfect color and it's not too pigmented, so you can build it up as needed. So here I'm just applying it with a fluffy brush to add a little bit of definition in the crease. It's not too pigmented, as I said, so if you like a more subtle and understated makeup look, and if you have fair to medium skin tone, I recommend this particular shade in this eyeshadow. And then I'm going to use my Portofino bronzer, which I have used as eyeshadow the entire year. I like that it adds warmth and a flattering golden color that looks really pretty on the eyes. And then I'm going to use my favorite eyeshadow palette from 2019, which is the Ilia Necessary eyeshadow palette in the warm nude shade. This little palette is so well put together because it has a mix of matte, shimmer, and satin finishes. And beside the reddish color, I've used all of the other shades very often. The formula is talc-free and it has a nice soft texture, great pigmentation, excellent blendability. And I like to use the matte light shade called Cocoon all over my lid as a base. It's almost like my skin tone, maybe a little bit more yellow. And then I add the warm terracotta color called 9079 to the crease. And then I diffuse it all over the eye for a very soft, warm, smoky eye. Next, I added the Kure Wise Grace eyeshadow along my lower lash line, which adds some definition, but also helps to hide my eye bags. It's a little trick that works really well for me. And then I'm just going to blend it to make sure that it looks soft. Next, I used my favorite liquid liner, which is the Ilia Clean Line Liquid Liner. It launched in 2019 and has easily been one of my favorite discoveries from last year. The felt tip is easy to use and can achieve a thin line or a thicker one with no issues, and the color is a rich black. It has a good longevity and it comes off easily with a cleansing oil, so I don't have to rub my eyes harshly to remove it. This liquid liner has actually brought back a little bit of excitement into my makeup routine because I've always loved liquid liner. I've always loved a nice cat eye, but I couldn't find the formula that I really liked. Okay, so in 2019 I also had two favorite mascaras. The first one is the Ilia Limitless Lash Mascara, which has more of a volumizing and lengthening effect. The wand shape is very unique and helps to grab the lashes in different ways so you can get thicker looking lashes. And my other favorite is the Ere Perez Avocado Waterproof Mascara, which is not volumizing but has a drier formula and therefore it helps to hold the curl better and adds definition. So it's become my go-to everyday mascara. It does not smudge or flake and it comes off easily with a cleansing oil or balm. And I love that it gives my lashes some length and definition without clumping and adding weight, since my lashes are very straight and will not hold the curl with mascaras that have a more wet formula. Okay, so moving on to blush. Last year I tried this lovely formula from Clove & Hollow called Hydra Tint Blush Serum. This is a fantastic option for those who like lightweight, water-based formulas and are trying to avoid oil-based products. It provides a nice flush of color without that dewiness that you typically see in cream blushes. So it's definitely a great option for oily skin types, but as someone who has more dry skin, I enjoy this one as well. It truly blends into the skin and becomes part of it in a way. So it's so natural looking, and this color is called Naked and it is the perfect nude color that can go with everything. And it makes the skin look hydrated and fresh. My other favorite blush from 2019 is a pressed powder formula from RMS Beauty, and this shade is called Lost Angel. The color has pink and peach with a subtle golden shimmer that looks so flattering and fresh. Though I don't typically gravitate towards powder blush formulas, I'm very fond of the RMS Beauty pressed powders because they are soft and buttery and they don't have a drying, cakey appearance on the skin. So I just added a touch of Lost Angel for an extra pop of color on my cheeks. As I was saying, I'm very fond of the RMS Beauty Press powder formulas because they have such a flexible texture that doesn't emphasize dryness, unlike many powder products. And my favorite new highlighter from last year were the RMS Beauty Luminizing Powders. I bought all 3 shades and use them all the time. The darkest shade is called Madeira, and it doubles as a bronzer. So that's the other bronzer I was talking about earlier. It has a red tone to it that mimics a real suntan, but it also has this beautiful golden sheen. So I swatched it next to the Portofino bronzer to show you how they compare. So you have Portofino on the left and the RMS Beauty Madeira bronzer on the right, which I also like to use as an eyeshadow. It's so pretty. Here I'm applying the lightest luminizing powder called Grande Dame, which is a beautiful champagne shade with subtle reflective particles. So it illuminates the skin, but it's quite elegant. It's not chunky, glittery, sparkly. It's just a flattering, subtle shimmer. And I just apply it on cheekbones, brow bones, inner corner of the eyes, and my Cupid's bow. And now on to my favorite lip products of 2019. There were quite a few actually, but I'm going to give a shout out to the Eyebrow lip pencil because it is the perfect soft brown color to achieve that 90s nude lip that I like. It's very creamy and soft, so I often use it all over my lips without any lipstick, just a touch of lip balm, and it's perfect for every day. Since I discovered this lip pencil, I actually haven't used anything else because I can define my lips with it. I can fill them in, I can easily carry with me for touch-ups. Since it's so soft, it's not the most long-lasting, but I don't mind touching up if needed, so it works for me. The color is also great to line your lips if you wear a lighter nude lipstick because it creates the contour you need not to look washed out. I think it's a must-have for anyone who likes to wear a nude lip. Lastly, I picked two lipsticks. These were the two that I rotated throughout the year, and they are from the Ilia Beauty collection called Color Block. These two shades which I wore the most are Rosette, a soft pink, and Marsala, which is a brown shade with hints of blue in it. They make it such a flattering deep nude. This line has an incredibly flattering formula because it's creamy, it's moisturizing, but also very, very pigmented with a semi-matte finish. So it's the type of formula that is not easy to come by. So this concludes my 2019 makeup favorites. I hope that you enjoyed watching this video and found some good product suggestions. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment below. And you can find a full list of all the products that I talked about on my blog at genuineglow.com. I will put a link in the info box below this video, so make sure to check that out. If you liked the video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and to subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. As always, ciao, and again, Happy New Year, or as we say in Italian, buon anno.